Good evening, everyone. My name is Tim Miller, and I have the honor and privilege of serving as the principal here at Valley High School. We'd like to welcome you to our school, and we'd like to thank you for joining us this evening. We're extremely excited about the evening we have planned as we move forward with the dedication of our beautiful Performing Arts Center. The dedication to a very special, extremely deserving person. Please sit back and enjoy the festivities. First this evening, we have remarks from our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Lisa Ramey. Dr. Ramey.
Good evening. Tonight we are here to dedicate this awesome facility in honor of Dr. Phyllis Staplin. As Tim just mentioned, she is very deserving of this honor. Dr. Staplin was valued as a respected employee in the West Des Moines Community School District for 33 years. Her dedication, energy, commitment, and extraordinary communication skills were the impetus for the West Des Moines Community School District being the leading fine arts department on the regional, state, and national levels. She has truly led the fine arts program from good to great. Next, I'd like to read parts from a letter submitted by Jean Meyer and Joseph Ginta in support of naming this facility after Dr. Staplin. Dr. Staplin has worked tirelessly to hire the best teachers and has expected nothing but the finest from them. Her efforts have paid huge dividends throughout the years, including many awards, state titles, numerous school trips, and championships for performing arts organizations. Her commitment to excellence includes the Bernstein Program and facilitating and supporting all aspects of the Grammy Award presented to Valley High School. This national recognition would not have happened if it wasn't for Dr. Staplin's outstanding leadership. Dr. Staplin has also served on numerous boards in the community, including Civic Music Association, the Des Moines Symphony, an Academy, and the Greater Des Moines Leadership Institute. She has represented the West Des Moines Community School District in the most professional way and has always been a supporter and spokesperson for highest quality fine arts education. She understands that the arts are essential in creating lifelong learners. Her love of the arts translates into her appreciation and enjoyment of watching students succeed in each and every performance which she has attended night after night, year after year. Naming the Performing Arts Center after Dr. Phyllis Staplin is a testament to her shining light that has translated into years of growth and development, leading and supporting the highest standards and quality in fine arts education. Phyllis, you are always there to support students, teachers, and administrators. You are willing to give of your time for others every day. Thank you for being you, for giving of your talents, and for creating excellent opportunities for the students of the West Des Moines Community School District. Next, I have the pleasure of sharing some remarks from Dr. Les Omatani. Dr. Omatani served as superintendent of schools from 1995 to 2004, and he could not be here tonight, but asked me to share a few words with all of you. So in the West Des Moines Community Schools, the decision to name a facility is rare and unique honor. The decision to name the new Performing Arts Center in honor of Dr. Phyllis Staplin is highly appropriate and a well-deserved recognition of a lifetime of outstanding service, advocacy, and exemplary educational leadership. This naming will ensure that every future student, teacher, administrator, and community member who sits in the seats of this Performing Arts Center will know and remember the previous decades of passionate and quality leadership that Phyllis provided for the performing arts and music education. Phyllis is the undisputed patron of the West Des Moines Community Schools Performing Arts and Music Education programs. This outstanding performance facility exists because of her vision, advocacy, tireless effort, and ability to build coalitions of support. Dr. Staplin exemplifies the 4 A's. Phyllis even learned to enjoy Valley Tiger football. I recall her describing the new Valley Stadium as a place where the Valley Marchmaster's outstanding halftime show is preceded and followed by 2 halves of some pretty good football. But always remember that to Phyllis, the prime function of this stadium was to play host to the 36th annual Valley Band Festival, Valley Fest. Where else in Iowa do over 10,000 people gather to watch marching band performances on a single day? Dr. Staplin believes to her core that a truly educated young person needs and deserves to be educated and immersed in the performing arts. She is a model of a well-educated individual who is exceptionally knowledgeable in the performing arts. During the most difficult and challenging budget debates facing the district and our community, Phyllis always advocated for the vital role and importance of music, drama, dance, and art in the lives of the West Des Moines Community Schools. Dr. Staplin has been recognized by many organizations and professional associations, including the prestigious Grammy Awards Foundation, for her expertise and leadership in music education. Today, the West Des Moines Community Schools and the entire community recognize her expertise, passion, service, leadership, and commitment that has resulted in one of the finest performing arts educational programs in our nation. Phyllis, you have earned the respect and lifelong appreciation as an outstanding colleague of every superintendent with whom you have worked. You have my eternal gratitude and admiration for being an exceptional teacher and leader. Congratulations on receiving this very well-deserved and significant honor. Next, I'd like to introduce Mr. Ryan Degnan and the Valley Singers.
Next, we have Dr. Doug Buchanan, former Associate Superintendent of Teaching and Learning, West Des Moines Community Schools.
Thank you. Good evening. It's my pleasure to be here this evening to present a few comments about Dr. Phyllis, and I'm really pleased that her daughter Elizabeth and her husband Eric and children Mina, Benjamin, and Samuel are here, as well as Dr. Bill Staplin and his wife Ruth and children Mary and Esther. I know that Elizabeth and Bill are both proud of their mother. We are proud of them. They are both Valley High graduates. And as you know, we recently lost Phyllis's husband, Dr. Carl Staplin, esteemed professor emeritus of organ and church music and chair of the keyboard music department at Drake University for many years. Carl was as much a part of our district family as Phyllis. Phyllis, approximately 33 years ago, at the age of 15, I believe you interviewed with Principal Bernhardt at Fair Meadow School for the reading resource position. You were hired, and later you were appointed by Dr. Bob Brooks to be the reading resource teacher at Valley High School. Following the time that you spent at Valley, it was my honor in 1982 to hire Phyllis as the district director of curriculum for language arts and fine arts. Now you understand this was in the days of whole language. So Phyllis did not have a lengthy or quiet break-in period in her role as a district curriculum leader and spokesperson. But as she did throughout her career, she handled the situation with patience and skills that we came to recognize over the next 3.5 decades. During that time, Phyllis has been the recipient of numerous awards and honors, among them the Iowa Arts Administrator of the Year in 2004, Drake University Distinguished Alumni Award, and her selection as Iowa Educator of the Year in 2006. She also has served on many boards and committees, including the Des Moines Symphony Association Board of Trustees, the Civic Music Association, the Des Moines Symphony Education Advisory Committee, as well as being a past president of the West Des Moines Friends of the Library Association. Among her duties with the district were travels throughout the U.S. as well as destinations in Europe, Russia, and China. I understand she chartered a plane, as a matter of fact, in Russia. You might want to find out a little bit more about that when you ask her. She wasn't trying to escape the U.S., I don't believe. Also among her journeys were many excursions to Carnegie Hall, which has been stated by the architects who designed this facility rival the acoustics that exist right here in this Performing Arts Center. Carnegie Hall rivals this performance center. But it would be my guess that among the most gratifying trips has taken was one that is recognized by this medallion that I wear this evening. It represents the Grammy Signature School Award in 1999. Yes, that Grammy Award. The Grammy Signature School Award is presented by the National Academy of Recording Arts and Sciences. It is designed to honor exceptional public high school music programs in the United States. There are over 26,000 public high schools in the United States, and Valley High School was the first to ever receive this award, a testimony to the leadership and support offered to our outstanding students and staff by Dr. Phyllis Staplin. You may know that Phyllis was raised in Buffalo, New York. You may not know that the house in which she grew up in is located on West River Street within view of Niagara Falls. Now, I don't know if Phyllis ever went over the falls in a barrel, but it wouldn't surprise me if she did. While visiting the falls many years ago with my wife, we drove by Phyllis's childhood home and happened to see a person next door mowing their yard. Just out of curiosity, I stopped and asked the lady if she knew Phyllis. She replied, "Do I know Phyllis?" Apparently you do not, because if you did, you would not be asking that question. Once you meet Phyllis, you know her, and and she knows you. That's not surprising to me, is it to you? As we all know, Phyllis is not an introvert. You who have visited the falls also know that you can go on a slow-moving boat called the Maid of Mist and literally go right up to the falls. You probably also know there's another tour boat available that was Phyllis's favorite. I don't know if you remember the name of it, Phyllis, but it is appropriately named the Whirlpool Jet Boat. Combine her energies with her innovative mind, and that can-do, will-do, positive attitude is catching to you. That is what makes Phyllis, Phyllis. She displays the focus and enthusiasm to others that is necessary for seeking and accomplishing challenges which may seem overpowering to the rest of us, such as this performing arts center that we sit in tonight. I believe we have a true, in life, unstoppable Phyllis Staplin. Doesn't that sound like it would make a good Broadway play? But I would guess that not many of you, unless you work with her, know of a trait at which she is unparalleled. She worked at, well, let me say, the most interesting office, certainly in the Des Moines area, if not the state of Iowa. Stacks and stacks of papers, folders, books, boxes, who knows what else. Were on her desk, on the floor, on shelves, on the windowsill, on top of each other, everywhere. Yes, she had file cabinets in which to place these materials, but you couldn't get close to them to open them up to see if they're filled or simply empty. I know they served as other pieces of furniture for which she could pile papers. So the challenge was simply to get into her office to try and find a chair in which to sit. However, Phyllis, I must admit something to you tonight. As you know, before I went home each evening, I emptied my in-basket, cleared my desktop, and once in a while rearranged the furniture in my office. But unknown to you, but to myself only, was this. Whenever I had work that I was working on that I did not finish, would want to leave out for easy access the next time I could get to it, I'd gather it up, put it in a folder envelope, and take it into your office and place it carefully in one of the stacks. Then when I had the time to sit down at the desk to work on it again, the next day or the next week or the next month, I would retrieve it from your office and get to work. Phyllis, for 20 years, no one ever knew the difference in my reputation for getting my work done each day continued. Dr. Phyllis Staplin, you're loved by many, respected by all, as exemplified by the naming of this beautiful fine arts performance venue in your name, the Staplin Performing Arts Center. Congratulations and well done, my friend. Now it is my pleasure to introduce the Valley High School Jazz Orchestra under the direction of Greg Simmons and Dave Carberdall. I had the good fortune to hear this group perform earlier this fall, and I assure you, you're in for a treat. Please welcome the Valley High School Jazz Orchestra.
At this time, we'd like to welcome Dr. Donna Wilkin, former West Des Moines Community Schools Associate Superintendent of Teaching and Learning.
Thank you very much. It's a thrill to be with you this evening in this spectacular facility and honoring our dear friend, Phyllis. Actually, I happened to be in the car with Phyllis when I first saw Staplin Performing Arts Center on the side of the building. We both just looked at it for a while, even Phyllis, without saying anything. I was sitting there thinking how much she had put in over the years to make this happen. So seeing Staplin on the outside of the building seemed fitting. But I also see Phyllis inside, in the stunning, stunning architecture, and in the beautiful classrooms, and on this stage, and in these seats tonight. These are all things that she talked about boundlessly, planned for tirelessly. She held countless meetings to discuss, and she advocated for so ardently over the years. Even the electric atmosphere that inhabits this space says, Phyllis. She always reminded us that form follows function, and there's no doubt that without the high level of the district's fine arts programs that Phyllis also led and embraced with passion, there would be no need for such an amazing center. So congratulations to all of the staff, the parents, and of course the very, very talented and committed students, of whom we are all so proud, for your roles in creating this, your new home. Those of us who worked in the district for a while eventually learned that if you wanted to do something big, if you wanted to make a dream reality, you had to go and find Phyllis Staplin. Thank you. Now it is my pleasure to introduce the Valley Senior Thespians and Director Stacy Hansen, who in my opinion has made many, many students' dreams come true.
Superintendent.
All I can say right now is wow. Just Phyllis's favorite word, I believe, and you'll hear it from her later tonight, is the word fabulous. And this is a fabulous evening, Phyllis, and it's very well deserved. I'm pleased to say a few words in honor of Phyllis. I had the pleasure of working with her in the district for some years, and it was very enjoyable for me. You've heard about her influence with the fine arts in our district, our state, our nation, and she truly is an innovator and a very visionary leader. And a few things that I have to mention will tell you a little bit different side of her, and I think you've heard some of them tonight. But first of all, in fact, she really is retired, but in reality, she's not. She's still extremely active in our community, in our state, and in a lot of ways. Just a few of the things that I would mention is I'll get to those, but first of all, your family is your support system, and you have a wonderful family. Start with, as Doug mentioned, dear Carl, your husband. I know he's with you tonight in spirit, and he's looking down and he's smiling, and he's very, very proud, as we all are, of you and your wonderful family. Lizzie, Eric, Mina, Ben, and Sam, they're so proud of their grandma, and they're so excited to be with you and spend this time, and your influence on them is really, really there. You can see their creativity and everything flourishing with them. And then Bill and Ruth, Mary and Esther, outstanding. And I think we're going to see the girls tonight, and we'll see a little more of Phyllis. And one of my favorite members of their family is Spider-Man. Spider-Man's a big dog. He's quite a dog, and I love dogs, so I had to mention him. Phyllis is still teaching at Drake University. She's very active, helping teachers, experienced teachers, new teachers, learn the passion of education for her and the opportunity to help students and to help give them the skills that they need as teachers to really, really be passionate about education and great teachers. Her volunteer work with the Des Moines Symphony and City of West Des Moines, just outstanding. You're touching a lot of lives, and you have been and you still are. She's helping people in central Iowa with the new endeavor. She's on a committee for United Way, and they've been working on, it's called an opportunity. There was a summit, and really looking at ways that we can help eliminate poverty in central Iowa. And Phyllis has jumped right in very deep in what we're working on. I think I mentioned that Phyllis is retired. And every once in a while when we go out to eat lunch or have coffee or just visit, I have to remind her that she's retired because she's still going 120 miles an hour. And she's doing a lot of good. In the past, Dr. Dale Grabinski, Dr. Les Omatani, myself, Dr. Peter Onsing, Dr. Lisa Remy have all experienced Phyllis's persuasive skills in advocating for the arts, and advocating for many things. And it was probably one of the first things I learned when I came here. I don't think I was in my office 10 minutes, and Phyllis came and started talking about, we really need an auditorium. And that was a consistent message, and I know she gave to all of us throughout her career. And it's really her vision that helped the district put this together. She worked with our administrators, the experts in the field that were employed to help, and it was just fascinating to watch her operate. Every time that we got together with Phyllis, we always had fun. And I'm going to be kind tonight, Phyllis. I'm going to talk only about a couple things. First one is she was instrumental in the Chinese language being taught at Valley. And part of that, obviously, is the cultural exchange between students from China coming here students going to China. And one night, Phyllis arranged to have a fundraiser. It was a silent auction and an auction. And I believe she raised about $40,000 that night, which was really amazing. But during the latter part of the evening, she started talking to people about their donations or their purchases being tax deductible. And I had to remind Phyllis in the crowd that Phyllis is not a tax attorney. I'm more an expert, and my advice to them was make sure you talk to your tax consultant before you decide how much you can deduct. And then, near the end of my tenure, at the 6th grade honors concert, earlier in the day, we talked to Phyllis and explained that it looked like we could put the funding together, and we were able to do a number of things, and one of those things was going to be the auditorium. And it's not easy to do that. It's really kind of challenging to get everything in line and get the plan where it needs to be to have that all happen. And I was very optimistic when I talked to Phyllis earlier that day. Well, she comes to the 6th grade honors concert, and she's introducing me, and she says something simply like, and I can't wait for Dr. Merritt to tell you that we're going to build a new performing arts center. This was before the board said yes, before everything was lined up exactly the way it needed to be. But one of Phyllis's great skills is she learned through the years that once you ring that bell, you can't unring it. And I was pleased that she did that. The board was pleased. We were that far along where we could talk about it as it was going to be a reality, and that was very exciting. A couple things I would like to, or some things that I would like to mention in gratitude. First of all of our educators, past and present, our administrators, all of our school board members, past and present, all of the staff members, everybody lined up to make sure that we can do things correctly for our school district. And this Performing Arts Center is an example of that. These things don't happen very easily. We had an excellent facilities plan. Galen Hauser and Kurt Suber were instrumental in that with a lot of our engineers and architects, and it takes time and it takes obviously money to put all those things together to support Phyllis' vision. And I would like to thank, this is kind of unusual for me recently because they haven't been too kind to schools, but the legislature and Governor Culver, when they approved the statewide sales tax, the 1-cent sales tax for school infrastructure, that allowed our district to put reality in place for much of the vision. Our students are the reason we're here. Our students are the reason that Phyllis really worked very, very hard her whole career, and even after her career, to make sure that things are being done well for them. And that's what it's all about. And they're the future. They're the ones that are going to continue the fine tradition that has been established and going on in our school district and at Valley High School for many years. And I know that our community really, really supports children and students. And I couldn't be proud of our school district. When you look at a number of things that are going on around the country and you look at your home district and you see what's happening, we're doing some great things. And we're extremely proud of you, and Mr. Miller and Dr. Poole as the board president, thank you for your service. Board members are volunteers. They do this out of the goodness of their heart. And most of the time, the public's not afraid to share their thoughts with them. And they kind of help guide them along. But it's something that is a kind of a challenging position, but we've been very fortunate in our school district to have outstanding board members. And I can guarantee you that this would not be here if that weren't the case. So we've got great people working for the district and great board members, and that's a wonderful combination. My wife and I, Phyllis, would like to thank you. You are truly inspirational. I know that there are times when I like to tease you and we kind of laugh about things, and sometimes we get a little, not teary-eyed, but we're thinking about some really tough challenges in the world and in life, and it's good to talk. So you deserve all of this, and we are thankful, very thankful that you're here. Director Phil Peters.
happy when I got a list of Phyllis's favorite things, and the music of J.S. Bach was on there, because when I think of special occasions such as this one, that's the first composer that comes to mind. It's timeless, it's ageless, and it's beautiful. just like Phyllis. I want to talk to you, so my first contact with Phyllis Staplin was in 1995. I had just applied for a position here in West Des Moines, Teachers Valley High School. And within a couple days of mailing that application in, my phone was ringing and there was this quite unique and enthusiastic voice on the other end. And I think we spent over an hour, Phyllis, talking about West Des Moines, and you told me everything about why I should move here from Baltimore to Iowa and to West Des Moines. And very quickly made arrangements for me to come out and interview. And then you proved a very gracious host. You picked me up at the Valley West Inn, you drove me over to meet the interview committee and the students. You treated me to a dinner and a night at the Des Moines Symphony where Carl was playing with the orchestra that night. I remember it very clearly. And from the very first time we spoke to the present day, West Des Moines Schools in the city of West Des Moines has had no greater cheerleader than Dr. Staplin. After settling in as orchestra director at Valley, Phyllis immediately had me work on new curriculum for the 412 orchestra program, and I learned very quickly that phone calls from Dr. Staplin usually meant a lot more work for somebody. I was really happy that about the same time a new technology called call screening came on board. And what a blessing that turned out to be. But really, all of the work that we did together, we just bore some great fruit. Whether it was curriculum writing, or entering into discussions on the new 9th grade school and those facilities, or becoming involved in the planning committees, and there were many of them on this facility, the new Performing Arts Center. Dr. Staplin always had great vision and the end in mind, and nothing would slow her down. The passion that Phyllis has for West Des Moines actually pales in comparison to the passion that she has for the arts, and most important, the students. That a large addition to our high school now bears her name is an appropriate and well-deserved testament to the dedication that Phyllis demonstrated each and every day to help all students in the West Des Moines schools succeed. For many years, Phyllis would visit all of the high school music classes in the days immediately following a big event, whether it was All-State or Valley Fest, and she would congratulate all of the students in those groups. She put everything aside and made sure that the students knew how valued they were. And what an important message that is for us. Students were first, always. And with all of her other duties, students always came first. I've learned quite a bit from Phyllis over the years. We've shared many laughs, conversed on music and education, survived a few frustrating moments in the course of the time. But she has helped me to see the bigger picture and has made sure that music and the performing arts were central to many curriculum and budget decisions. I am honored to work here, to still call Phyllis a colleague and friend, and to have my students perform in the Staplin Performing Arts Center at Valley High School. I am to introduce the next performers. Mary and Esther Staplin, aka Staplin Squared, directed by Kathleen Hurley and Paula McCarthy.
Education President, West Des Moines Community Schools.
Good evening, everyone, and this is a very good evening. I recently read the following quote: "There are certain people who enable us to be as we have never been before." Tonight, we honor one of those people, Dr. Phyllis Staplin. Her influence has built foundations for growth and excellence in the West Des Moines Community Schools. Let's examine the evidence. If one were to Google the West Des Moines Community Schools, you would find 4 bullets describing our district. The first bullet: we have one of the state's only artful learning schools inspired by Leonard Bernstein. Dr. Staplin was responsible. Bullet number 2: students began learning Spanish in the 1st grade, and our high school offers more foreign languages than nearly any other schools in Iowa. Dr. Staplin wrote grants that funded Chinese and elementary Spanish. Bullet number 3: students can play in orchestra here as early as 4th grade and in band as early as 5th. Indeed, Dr. Staplin. And the last bullet says, and I quote, "Our high school was the first Grammy Signature School Award winner." Again, Dr. Staplin. This might be described as the house that Phyllis built. What can I say that hasn't been said before? Well, let's see. Most of you are probably familiar with this ABC book by Dr. Seuss. With a great amount of latitude, I have written a little verse to describe my very dear friend and colleague. Let's begin. Big A, little a, what begins with A? Ambition, a cappella, and impact of art, you say. Big B, little b, what begins with B? Bernstein, band, boosters, then on to C. Curriculum, Chinese, cellos, concerts, and Carnegie. Big D, little d, drama, drumline, Dublin, Drake, A, B, C, D, E, elegant, enthusiastic, energetic she. Then it's F, you say. Fantastic, foresight, foreign languages, all began that way. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, gold-driven Grammy girl. Golly gee. Big H, little h, halftime performances. Hooray, hooray. I is not to be for our dear Phyllis. It's not in her vocabulary. Big J, little j, what begins with J? Jazz band, jazz choir, all began that way. Big K, little k, kick it all around. Her many ideas go up and are rarely shot down. L, let me see. Literacy, language arts, and Project Laramie. Big M, little m, musicians, march masters, many marching men and women. Big N, little n, what begins with those? Notes, eighths, quarters, halves, wholes, and on it goes. O brings opera, orchestra, organs, opinions always, then performances, plays, and pianos, Steinways. Q, Dr. Staplin is quite she, a ray of sunshine on a day dreary. Then clearing snow and drying seats, she prepares the stadium for the Valley Fest feats. Staff development, and of course, we are all here to endorse the Staplin Performing Arts Center, of course. What begins with T, talent, and tigers, wherever she be. Phyllis, unique, one of a kind, vivacious, vibrant, and very, very world class. Extraordinary Dr. Staplin, and now at last, oh, I see you're starting to yawn. But Phyllis would say this event was beyond the beyond. And as your yawns turn to Z's and you grow very still, it is my pleasure to introduce and welcome Doctors Phyllis and Carl Staplin's son, Bill.
My name is Dr. William Robert Staplin. I'm the son of Phyllis and Mary Robert Staplin and Carl B. Staplin. And I wanted to make some introductions to the audience here. I wanted to acknowledge the out-of-town guests who have descended upon Iowa's capital to be a part of this celebratory occasion. My sister, Miss Elizabeth Tausner, Director of Correspondence for the Dwight Englewood Preparatory School for Edgewater, New Jersey, is here, which is just south of New York City. My sister's mother-in-law, retired collegeist at computer science professor, Dr. Mimi Tausner from Edgewater as well. One of my dad's former students, Mr. Samuel Baker, who is the director of music and organist for Old Presbyterian Meeting House in Alexandria, Virginia. Mr. Patrick Wallach, CEO and founder of Momentum Project Lab. Mr. Bullock works with the Bernstein Foundation to provide professional development to teachers and administrators nationwide. He is from Scottsdale, Arizona. I'm going to give you a brief synopsis of Mom's life, and it obviously had an effect on Mom's life perspective as a wife, a mom, a teacher, an administrator, to where we are now. First, I'm going to give you a little bit, this speech is a little bit different from the rest because, as you can tell, I'm her son, and I have a unique angle at which to see things. So I'm going to go into that. Mom's background is to understand Mom and to understand the foundations for the Performing Arts Center. You have to take a brief walk through Mom's background, her upbringing, her schooling, her parents, her husband, the late Carl B. Staplin, her graduate training, her command of multiple disciplines, but also her humility. So if I may, I'm going to acquaint you with Mom's life, albeit in an abbreviated form, but nevertheless very interesting. Mom was born in Buffalo, New York. She is not a Midwesterner. She is from the East Coast. She was born September 16th, 1939 to William and Mary Roberts. They were both teachers, with Bill serving as a technical automotive vocational teacher at Burgard High School. Mary Roberts taught fourth grade in Buffalo, New York public school system. They were so happy to finally have a baby girl, their only child. Grandpa Roberts also owned a garage to do automotive repairs. They lived on Lisbon Avenue for a time, but then they moved out to a development called Grand Island, an island between Canada and the United States on the Niagara River. And like Dr. Buchanan mentioned, their ranch home overlooked a most tranquil setting with the Niagara River flowing gently by on its way to Niagara Falls. You can see the mist and hear the falls in the distance. When Mom was a teenager, she applied for and got accepted into the Buffalo Seminary, a private, highly competitive, all-girls preparatory school in Buffalo. Mom is what they called a scholarship girl because she applied for and was accepted into a program that offered partial tuition remission for her high school education. There were 2 per class. She was one of them in her class. It was an academically rigorous setting with Latin and French, and yet Mom said that this is where she learned a lot about resilience and getting things done. Mom's extracurricular thing in high school was choral music and playing popular piano music of the day. She could sight read things so amazingly well, and she still knows how to do that amazingly well. She became proficient at sight reading because her dad always was putting music in front of her, and he would be playing his saxophone while her mom sang and danced. She was the accompanist for the Buffalo Seminary Choir. In fact, she chose to take up learning the king of all instruments, the pipe organ. Her teacher was Mr. Hans Spiegelon, organist and choirmaster at Westminster Presbyterian Church in Buffalo. While Mom was getting her teaching degree in SUNY Buffalo, Mom became a junior choir director for that church's children's choir that numbered about 60 plus kids. As far as social outlets, Mom had gone on a few dates and such, but her mentor on the organ, Hans, may have had another thing up his sleeve when he introduced a tall, dark, and gangly Yale University graduate student, he wasn't a doctor yet, Carl Baird Staplin, to Mom, the summer of 1960. Apparently, Dad tried to teach Mom a thing or two about how to do some organ-related technique, and Mom, quite frankly, would have none of it. Despite a derailed organ lesson, Mom eventually was asked if she wanted to go get some ice cream. This is the equivalent to a froyo date. The next step was to introduce the parental units to this strange yet interesting guy. My sister and I were told that Dad probably didn't match up very well with my bravado, maximal auto mechanic grandpa, who probably resembled John Wayne with a power tool. I mean, nobody messed with Bill Roberts. He was a teacher union president. One year he was the grand marshal for the St. Patrick's Day parade in Buffalo, and he wasn't even Irish. He was a bit of a daredevil who knew how to ride motorcycles, he raced speedboats, but he also knew how to negotiate for teachers' rights. And with Bill Roberts' 250-pound, 6'4" frame, that didn't hurt matters much in these negotiations. When Mom visited Burgard Vocational School, where Grandpa taught auto mechanics, the sea of wide-eyed, open-mouthed Burgard boys would quickly open up and allow Mom to pass, followed by her ever-protective dad. It's like Moses. Grandpa contrasted pretty sharply with Dad, who was more or less pretty skinny, tall, graduate student / academic / organist / composer type. And yet, Mom liked Dad. Fearing the worst, Mom put the fear of God into my grandpa, who was instructed not to say a word. Apparently, Mom was afraid that her dad would scare away Carl and blow the whole chance for future dates with him. With this interesting odd duck of a fellow, her dad grudgingly complied, but eventually, maybe after the second date, Dad was teased a little bit, and after that, Grandpa Roberts knew only how to tease my poor dad. Within a year, Dad had given his fraternity pin to Mom to wear in her cardigan and sweaters. Dad and Mom got married June 1961. This was the spring that Dad would graduate from Yale University with a degree in composition, and Mom would graduate with a teaching degree from SUNY Buffalo. Both would leave the confines of the East Coast and travel to the Midwest. While Mom's parents, Bill and Mary, were so very proud and encouraged by their daughter and mother-in-law and son-in-law's first jobs, they were a bit worried because their baby girl was moving west of the Allegheny Mountains. I mean, that's the Midwest. Dad got a job with the University of Evansville in southern Indiana, developing the organ program. Mom and Dad landed up enjoying their salad days as academics. After 3 years and 2 new pipe organ installations in progress, Dad wanted to further his graduate education by applying to a PhD program in organ and composition at Washington University in St. Louis. And Mom followed suit, applying for a teaching scholarship for a master's degree program in early childhood development. Both were accepted into their respective programs, and upon agreeing that they would return to Evansville with their programs of study completed, Mom and Dad moved to St. Louis, Missouri. Living in a small apartment above a dental office on Eager Boulevard, Mom and Dad made their way through Washington University's strenuous program in 18 months. And within that blissful yet stressful time, They had accomplished another milestone, and Mom gave birth to her firstborn, little baby girl named Elizabeth Ann, my sister. Mom and Dad returned to Evansville Community to resume their teaching duties, but Dad had interviewed for a position in a school called Drake University in Des Moines, Iowa, and he happened to get that job as an associate professor, so it was time to move to the Des Moines area. Mom was around when we were growing up with a bustling piano studio for 8 years. Her father, unfortunately, had passed away in his early 60s in 1968, and his name was passed on to me when I was born. While she was enjoying the parties and life as a faculty wife, something was amiss in Mom's professional aspirations. She wanted to have her own deal, her own discipline, prompted by her own mother to continue with her graduate degree training. Mom started taking classes to earn her specialist degree in early childhood learning, reading at Drake University School of Education. Mom also wanted to work and get back into the classroom, so she applied and got a job at Rex Mathis Elementary and taught reading recovery for a year, and then transferred to Fair Meadows Elementary with Vern Hart. She would have this job for a total of 5 years while she was earning her graduate degrees. Not long after Mom got her doctorate in education, the opportunity to move up to the high school level became available through the former Valley principal, Robert C. Brooks. He was looking for somebody to be a part teacher, part counselor, part parent to these students who found traditional learning models a bit of a challenge. It was Mom's influence that helped all of her high school students graduate, and Mom would have been happy to stay in this capacity. But that is not what the stars were destined to predict. As Dr. Doug Buchanan mentioned, he presented her with an opportunity to move to an administrator-type role. At this point, you heard about from Drs. Merrick and Dr. Buchanan, Dr. Vicki Poole, the career of Mom while she was working at Central. It was actually Central office, and then it became the Learning Resource Center. And at this point, she would have this position for a total of around 24 years, finally retiring in 2013. Mom is currently teaching as an adjunct faculty with the School of Education at Drake University, and she's been doing this for over 20 years, in addition to her administrative duties here in West Des Moines. But probably her most ever-changing accomplishment is her 5 grandchildren. The 3 Towser children are Mina, Ben, and Sam. Ben and Sam are fraternal twins. Ben and Sam also play the saxophone, which was Grandpa Robert's instrument. They also are active in lacrosse and soccer. And my sister's oldest child, Mina, plays piano, violin, is going to be taking the viola, and then is very active in soccer and indoor soccer. The second part now, I'm going to fast forward to last summer during West Des Moines Community School District's summer string camp. Keep in mind that Mom is supposed to have been retired 2 years. Last summer and the year before that, our oldest daughter Mary participated in the highly successful West Des Moines Community School District summer string camp. Esther will be able to participate in this next summer. This 2-week program brought together over 200 students yearly, and that was just for the summer camp. You see, Mary's cello teacher is Ms. Anne-Marie Webster, who's the director of strings at Western Hills and Stillwell Junior High School. On the final day, the kids played some of the pieces that they had learned. Mr. Matt Meyer was Mary's director. I observed Mom watching the ensemble with an eagle's eye. When the orchestra was playing, Mom was pounding out the rhythm on my knee, visibly demonstrating her enthusiasm for the kids' performance of Turkey in the Straw. Because whether or not my knee hurt or not, it really didn't matter. And whether Mary was in the ensemble, it mattered some, but overall the enjoyment of the performance would not have been a bit tarnished had our daughter not been performing. With her granddaughter also performing, it was like icing on the cake. Mom was just thrilled to see the small theater at or near capacity with students nearly falling off the stage, yet fully focused on the music. Nobody was injured or anything, it's just the effect. Lots of kids. Watching this team of string teachers all playing turkey in the straw with their students was the memorable moment. She just loved listening to the little minds working their string instruments, listening to their combined sound, watching Matt conduct for the 200th time, and whispering positive affirmations about the group's performance. Mom truly loved seeing students' performances and academic achievements, from the earnest beginners to the polished high school seniors that you are witnessing tonight. So how did she do it? This being one example of many for each of the arts disciplines. Well, she accomplished this goal by doing two things. The first is that Mom had a talent to see potential in teachers. Mom provided leadership in hiring the right people in the fine arts, the language arts, the foreign language and social sciences departments. Mom shared with us her excitement at the dinner table, whether it was a recent hire or hires, like the Luther College choir twins, Haley and Ryan, or the new building like Southwoods, and an award for the district. They're too numerous to mention, but specifically the Grammy and one of the awards that Mom got as a Des Moines leadership person. That was a big thing too. Mom was all about West Des Moines education. The second thing that Mom did was she enabled teachers the freedom to teach their craft, because after setting the ground rules, Mom got out of the way. As an administrator, she didn't feel like it was her place to micromanage things. Instead, it was her job to facilitate opportunities for her teachers. Mom got out of the way after giving these teachers the tools to succeed because she trusted them and she knew where their passions were. Mom's enthusiasm never wavered. A final anecdotal story of Mom advocating is as follows. Mom arranged for then Superintendent Dr. Tom Narek to meet Mr. Peter Hedges, the movie producer, playwright, author, and former piano student of Mom's. During a 5:30 a.m. breakfast meeting, which, whether you're a playwright or a superintendent, you're never allowed a good night's rest, and you must always have early morning meetings. Peter went into detail as to why they needed certain additional structural drama rooms, and in his alumnus of the famed mime troupe, the Baker's Dozen, and the University of North Carolina School of Drama, Peter knew all too well why they shouldn't compromise on these components. Dr. Tom eventually agreed, and they continued the adjustments into the budget and design that Peter had advocated for, and that Mom wanted for the students. Those early morning meetings really worked well for Mom's cause. With the budget of the Performing Arts Hall finally chiseled out, it was at this point that it enabled Mom to say, it's time to retire. And while Mom was dealing with the end of her tenure as a curriculum director, she was also dealing with Dad's declining health, which she kept private to only a few friends. In the brief, a little more than a year's time after retirement, Mom would lose Dad. Dad's lungs were not able to keep him alive. And on July 12, 2014, Dad passed away. I think that Dad would be so proud of Mom and all of her accomplishments. And certainly Dad's spirit lives on in his numerous students, such as Sam Baker, and his compositions that you heard tonight. One might say, why does it matter to have an orchestra? Heck, why does it matter to have a strong music program? Why does it matter that we need all these additional spaces for the drama? And why do we need these extensive gallery spaces for the visual arts? Why can't we just do the obvious, the convenient, or the easy things and be done with it? Mom would counter it's because it's for the kids' development as thinkers for the future. And here's why. And then she would cite some literature review paper of how we are all wrong. Sometimes the correct answers aren't necessarily the easiest of decisions. In conclusion, in our social media saturated world, we tend to underestimate the obvious. Neglecting to say the words thank you is frequently the status quo, unfortunately. I know that there might be many talented, fortunate students who may pass through these walls and who will graduate from ballet and move on with their lives without ever really understanding or wanting to acknowledge the name Phyllis and Mary Robert Staplin. But we can't let the status quo obfuscate our responsibilities. We can't forget the people who make such positive influences upon our lives. Through all the resources that makes art function in West Des Moines, including the Performing Arts Center, it really comes down to the tireless dedication of the teachers who want to play Turkey in the Straw, who will help us improvise through that complicated set of chord changes, who will help us best visualize and paint the still life, or will help us coach us on that dramatic entrance. And every single one of us has that responsibility to thank and to pay respect towards their favorite teacher, whether they are in the arts or not, through the respect of the past, their mentors, and their training. The students will be able to find their focus, their inner passion, here in the Performing Arts Center. They will practice, they will refine their character parts, they will repeat that difficult music passage, they will memorize it, and eventually they too will follow their passion out into the world for their future. Mom, thank you for all that you gave to students and teachers in the West Des Moines School District, as well as your influence far outside this district, well beyond its physical borders. You bring the definition of dedication to a new plateau, whereupon we can all learn from your lessons. Thank you. Please ask Principal Tim Miller to please come to this podium for the building dedication presentation.
Dr. Phyllis Staplin, representing our beloved Valley High School, I officially dedicate the Valley High School Performing Arts Center in your honor. And from this day forward, actually it was approved by our school board a few months ago, it is to be referred to as the Staplin Performing Arts Center. And it reads, in honor of the enduring support provided by Dr. Phyllis Staplin to every facet of the West Des Moines Community School District's Fine Arts program, the Valley High School Performing Arts Center has been named Staplin Performing Arts Center, dedicated November 12th, 2015. When I called Dr. Staplin and told her about this, I wasn't sure if she fell down or how she was reacting, but she called me back a few days later, and when we were planning the ceremony, she said, now you got to make sure I have a chance to say something. I promised her she would. Dr. Phyllis Staplin.
By all of this. I had no idea. I had kind of an inkling. Some of my dearest friends let a few little things slip about what was going to happen. But Bill, I had no idea you were going to say all that. And thank you so much for listening to my dear son. He's a very special guy. Okay. I'm going to try to top what has just happened, but I won't even get close because, I mean, this was just like the most unbelievable experience. What an incredible evening. It was fabulous. Filled with joy and warmth and laughter and memories and words. I'll never forget what I did to Doug Buchanan. He came and asked me if I'd like to be director of curriculum, and I said, why do I want to leave Valley High School? I love Valley High School. I mean, I actually talked back to the man. I think I drove him a little crazy sometimes. Please accept my heartfelt gratitude for this honor and complete appreciation for all of the planning, my goodness, preparation and work that everyone has done. It's totally unbelievable to me. This entire fall leading up to tonight's dedication has been over the top in my life, but above all, a very, very humbling experience. For there is alive here, and there has been alive for years in this school, truly a collective energy of hundreds and hundreds of committed and devoted administrators, faculty, and parents who throughout the years have gifted their talents and energies to our students, awakening their appreciation and engagement in the fine arts. I have been blessed for the years to have worked side by side with these special colleagues. These are my friends, past and present, who I'm thinking about deeply tonight, and am honoring them tonight. It has been quite a team. I was told about this happening the end of August in a phone call from Principal Tim Miller and Superintendent Dr. Lisa Ramey asking my permission, can you believe this? Asking my permission to take a recommendation to the Board of Education at their next board meeting to add my name to the Performing Arts Center. Unbelievable. Yes, I was truly speechless. I was absolutely humbled and realized that all of this conversation and planning had taken place over an extended period of time between many people, and I knew nothing about it. This was the really real thing, and I can see that surprises were planned to the nth degree. I was directed not to ask any questions because I wouldn't get any answers. And now we are all experiencing an unbelievable celebration planned by beautiful people who are very special in my life. I'm absolutely thrilled, completely humbled, and overwhelmingly grateful to be here this evening, welcoming family and friends from New Jersey, Washington, D.C., Arizona, Minneapolis, along with the greatest of friends from the West Des Moines and the Des Moines area. You all know I'm a bit passionate and perhaps a little bit excessive about everything associated with the West Des Moines schools and everyone who makes great things happen for our students. People kind of roll their eyes and smile, including my family, when I get started talking about the virtues of this school system and what our students and teachers are accomplishing, always the possibilities, and reaching for the highest of standards in academics, athletics, activities, and the fine arts. Servant leaders abound here, and the best part about living in West Des Moines for 49 years and seeing this city grow, change, and become a dynamic place to live are my 33 years in this school district. 10 years as a teacher at Fair Meadows and Valley, and 23 years as director of curriculum. The West Des Moines Schools has always aimed to be a systemic organization, keeping as its goal and putting into action the best possible educational opportunities for our students entering into the 21st century. And from what I'm hearing, it's being done very well. First, there's the wonderful superintendents and the associate superintendents who I watched, worked with, who shared their vision, their wisdom, their philosophy of learning, and who taught me big time. They even got used to me dashing into their offices with a new idea that often had finance attached to it. There are my colleagues, principals, administrative teams, support staff, associates who I consider the dearest of friends and a blessing to work with. They were an amazing sounding board and so smart, so supportive, and I admire them greatly. There were and are our superb and brilliant teachers who I never stopped learning from, who poured their dedication, energies, and talents and love for their students 24/7. Talk about paying it forward. These great educators do this. There are the boards of education who set policy and who patiently listen, question, carry forth the vision and mission of the district. and authorize those contracts to be signed. And behind it all are the dedicated, loving parents who volunteer, support, attend parent-teacher conferences, applaud, lug instruments, drive students to rehearsals, sew costumes, set up risers, stage sets, and learn along with their students. These are the joys I experienced and still experience here. This school district gives and gives to all of us. It has a heart and a spirit. I think it's unique. Really, there is this magical, contagious, symbiotic relationship going on in this district, continually being fed, it's very organic, Donna, by an amazing team and who enter this home away from home. Hard work, commitment, excellence, loyalty are the Tiger way of life, and it shows, and it really shows here tonight. This magnificent Performing Arts Center, designed by RDG and built by Whites, holds so much promise for our students in the community. It is a home for the arts, where our boys and girls, our young men and women, our daughters and sons, our grandchildren and great-grandchildren, our community members, our legacies can come together in here to see, listen, and learn, face challenges, explore the human condition, seek beauty through dedication, find comfort through sensitive reflection, and discover new possibilities. For it is in this space, this home for the arts, this auditorium, the foyer, the atrium, these classrooms, that creativity and artistry connect with performance. It is where communication and collaboration come together and inspire students and teachers to become more than they ever thought they could be, discovering themselves in drama, visual arts, and music. I believe it is and will be a place where we will be wowed, we will be awed, inspired, experience harmony, intellectual challenges, and extraordinary life experiences. It is a home for the arts, built on sincere and warm relationships at many levels, past and present. We have all experienced this evening. It's incredible. No doubt these relationships will continue to develop exponentially in the years to come. And finally, this unbelievable Performing Arts Center will welcome with open arms visitors, dignitaries, leaders in every walk of life, thinkers, listeners, learners, and scholars, students young and old, all of us. I am thrilled, and I'm so humbled. I've never heard my name said so much. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you to my dear children, my dear grandchildren, my dear husband Carl, and all of you dear friends. This Performing Arts Center will be here for the ages, and we will remember fondly and gratefully our time together this evening. Thank you for coming tonight and joining together in celebration of artful living and learning in the Performing Arts Center of West Des Moines, Iowa. Thank you so much.
Thank you again, everyone, for coming. Thanks to all the students and all the performers. Thanks to all the speakers. Thanks to the Valley High School students and staff that prepared a beautiful reception for us afterwards here. I hope you all join us out in the foyer for some refreshments and visit with Phyllis. And again, thanks for a tremendous evening to everybody. Thanks for being here at Valley High School tonight.